Do you often say to yourself, I just don't have time for that? Stick around in this video. I'm going to share with you a 4-step process to gain more time in your life. Hey guys, Jordan here, author and destiny catalyzer. I help people figure out their life purpose with the power of self-discovery. Today we're going to use self-discovery to figure out how to create more time in your life. I'm going to share 4 action items that you can implement today to gain more time into your life. Let's dive right in. Let's talk about number 1. Number 1 is to get clear on your priorities. Just the other day while I was sitting in Starbucks, sipping on an Americano, eating some Starbucks snacks, I grabbed my journal and I wrote down my top 5 priorities. And next to those top 5 priorities, I wrote down what I would be doing to actually follow through and live out those priorities in my life. For example, if one of my priorities, and it is to learn Portuguese, I've been realizing lately that I need to bump that up in my priorities list. So I put it, I think, about number 4, and I put some action items, things that I could actually do, maybe not daily, but maybe weekly, to start working toward that goal and that priority. Whatever your priorities are, it can help to see them written down. I do this about 2 to 3 times per year, maybe even more if I do find myself saying I just don't have time, or maybe I start having those thoughts that I'm not really sure what I should be working on and what's most important. I make a list of those priorities so I can see, and it is super helpful and impactful to me. So if you try that step, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. The number 2 action item that I'm going to share with you today about gaining more time is to do a time audit. And we're going to jump into a screen share right now because I want to show you how to actually do that. Let me show you how you can do a quick time audit. So within my book, Catalyze Your Destiny, this is the PDF edition. You can get the Kindle paperback or audio edition online on Amazon, but if you want the PDF, just feel free to email me and I'll send it over to you. But the questions in here are really helpful for figuring out what you actually do with your time. One of those things you may think it's obvious, you may know, but when you ask these questions, you start to think more deeply about, oh man, yeah, I do actually spend a lot of my time on that. So we're just gonna go through these real quick, and then I wanna show you a way that you can actually think about what your ideal day would look like, and that'll help you sort through your priorities and gain more time. So what took up most of my time or your time today? So this is where you can look at your calendar, you can look at your internet browser history. That's something that might be more painful if you do spend a lot of time on Facebook, or maybe it's on your phone, on Instagram, or any of those things. But it might be worth it to see where you actually spend your time. What do I wish I did more of? So that's kind of an end of the day question. What do I wish that I did more of today? That's another deeper question to think about. Maybe there's things that you just did today that, that didn't add any value to your life, and be open and upfront with yourself with that. And what's one thing I can do better tomorrow? Maybe it's less of one thing, or maybe it's more of one thing. As you're thinking about those, I want you to think about what your ideal day would look like. And to do a time audit, really, it's helpful to see that. It's helpful to think about what you could have done better, but this section right here is for thinking about what your ideal day would look like, and hopefully that can help you to build more of those days. So answer these questions, fill in this activity sheet, and I'll scroll down real quick so you can see just what mine is here. It's on 2 pages, but you can kind of see that. Just in brief, that's what my ideal day would look like. Now, of course, Mondays look different than Wednesdays. Wednesdays look different than Fridays. This isn't to schedule out your week. This is just to see what you would like to be doing with your time, and that can help you figure out where you're actually spending your time. So any questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, let's move on. The third way to make more time in your life is to cut the fluff. Now, this one is super hard because sometimes we don't even want to admit this to ourselves, that a lot of the time we're spending is possibly wasted, or we're doing things that don't match our priorities list. Maybe you're watching a show on TV that you really, really enjoy, but maybe you're doing it alone. Maybe it doesn't match any of your other priorities. Maybe it's just something that is just pulling so much time away that you end up not having time. And I think the best way that we can gain more time is to 1, realize that, and then 2, not be afraid to cut the fluff at the end of the day. Now, this is something that obviously I still have to work on. I think it's something a lot of us have to work on, not wasting that time. But again, if you do find yourself saying those words, I don't have enough time, it could be worth it to examine what parts of your life maybe not contributing to your priorities and to your goals, and you might be able to cut. Now, again, this is hard, but in order to find more time, sometimes you do have to be ruthless. The number 4 way that I would suggest to create more time into your life is to just take direct action, is to stop thinking about all the things you want to do, get clear on your priorities, and start working them, start doing them. Now, with all these things, obviously, it is hard to put these into action. I realize that personally. I wouldn't suggest that any of these things are easy, but you'll find that if you do take that direct action, if you start working right now, maybe if not in the next 5 minutes, maybe today, maybe this week, but take advantage of the time that you do have. Everybody has more time than they realize. We all have margin to grow and increase and to do more than we expect of ourselves. And so to create more time, start taking swift and decisive action. If you need any help, please email me, jordan@jmring.com. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Otherwise, leave a comment below if you have any thoughts or ideas of other videos you'd like me to do. I'd be happy to tackle other subjects. Otherwise, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and stay tuned for more. Have a good one.